Shalom, my name is Adam Wasser from Brooklyn, New York. On the idea of why do bad things happen to people, I don't think there's anyone in life that hasn't experienced something bad happening to them. Whether you're wealthy, poor, sick, healthy, with children, without children, everyone has experienced something bad in their lives. And sometimes when it's mediocre, it's like, okay, I'm supposed to learn from that, I'm supposed to better myself. But when it's really traumatic, like losing, God forbid, a child or a loved one, or somebody comes down with cancer, God forbid, or something really traumatic, we really put our hands up in the air and say, why, God? Why is this happening? Especially when it's a good person. And often when something really bad happens to somebody, like getting really sick or something, it tends to be a good person. And we say, why? And there's no real answer for this, except that we have a life to live. And in this life to live, we have a decision to make. The freedom of will, because everyone has a freedom of will. And that freedom of will is the path. Do you choose to take this path, or do you choose to take that path? The right path, the wrong path, sometimes we don't know. But whatever path we take, we have to make decisions in. The idea in Judaism of freedom of will is that you have a choice between the left path, the right path, the middle path, whatever it is, but that path is already decided for you. Depending on your choice is the path that you take. And it's already decided in that path of what's going on. Meaning, you have the freedom of will to choose the path you want, but there's already a preordained destiny within that path. Now, once you take that path, if it's the wrong path or the right path, things are already preordained, but things can change and you can go into another path. Meaning, if you're in a bad path, you chose a bad path, and later on you move and you evolve into a good path. This is the truth of life, is that everyone, all of us, have the freedom of will to choose what destiny we want. But that destiny is already preordained in the idea of which path we have decided to take. Bad things happen. It's a truth of life. I can tell you in my own life, I've had bad things happen to me. Thank God I'm healthy and I'm alive. But the people around me and personal experiences in my life have made great challenges of my understanding and my relationship with God. I know that sometimes you just want to put your arms up in the air and push God away and say, just leave me alone, I don't want to have anything to do with you, it's not for me. But I've also, in my own life, experienced that there comes a point where you reflect and where you meditate on your situation and your history, and you say, I need to come back. I need to readjust and move on to another path. Because if you get stuck, if you allow yourself to get trapped in the situation, you're only hurting yourself. You're only putting yourself in a bad situation of entrapment. And it is your entrapment that you have chosen, not God. Yes, God makes people sick. He can give people cancer. He can have a child die. He can make a drought happen. And we can go into a direction, a path that is not a good one. But ultimately, that path can teach us. And that is really the idea of it, is that the bad situation teaches us. It evolves us into a stronger human being. And it allows us to not only better understand ourselves, but the world around us. And for ultimately us to go into a stronger pattern. In Judaism, we learn that everyone has a bashert, someone who is meant for them. Meaning, you can fall in love, you can be with somebody, but it might not work out. And you can marry somebody that is meant for you, because in Judaism we believe that whoever you marry is meant for you, but later on you could divorce them. And this is the idea, is that it's not that it was not meant to be, but that it was an experience for you to learn from, for you to evolve into a higher person, to a higher level of being. So we learn in the idea of Mashiach, when Mashiach comes, that there will be divorce. And that when Mashiach comes, people will get a divorce. So what does this mean? How could, when Mashiach comes, people get a divorce? The idea is that in the level of where you are in life, what level you are at is the person that is meant for you, the person that is supposed to help you evolve and become a stronger person, and that person also is meant to be with you to evolve themselves. But when Mashiach comes, we are all going to evolve. We are all going to become stronger and bigger people. On a higher intellectual level, a holier level. So we will need somebody who is more at that level of more of who is truly meant for us. Now that's not to say that who you are with now is not meant for you. They are meant for you. But they are meant for you for this moment in your life at this time and being. But later, you might need a higher level of life. Life is truly a jigsaw puzzle of understanding not only yourself but of the world. And you have to say, this is a problem in my life. I'm trying to understand myself and the world around me. Do I need a break? Do I need to get away from people? What do I need? You need that. But you have to find that middle ground, that place that you can find yourself and say, okay, how do I move to a higher level? How do I move forward? You can never allow yourself to get stuck. You can never allow yourself to just get to one point and not move forward. It doesn't stop. Life, until you die, life continues, and so must you evolve into a higher level of higher being and understanding. If this person that you are married to is not meant for you at a certain point, you must work with them and try to bring them with you. But if that doesn't work, maybe divorce is the answer. If somebody, God forbid, has died, and you don't know how to deal with that, and you love them, and it's heartbreaking, they're gone. It's over. But their meaning, their blessing in life does not die, because it goes on with you. It continues with you. And it is up to you to allow them to live on. In Judaism we learn that no one is truly dead. Their body dies, their soul lives forever. But truly, their physical part in this world never dies until you forget about them, until you it's gone. As long as you remember them and you fulfill and push forward into their helping, in their memory, make a remembrance for them, they'll never die. We have a great weakness in life, and we have a great power in life when it comes to death. Is that it's so hard for us to let go. It's so hard for us to say goodbye. But at the same time, we have the ability to move on, but not forget, not to let go, and to use these people's lives that lived and have been lost to make something out of it, to say, you're gone, but I'm going to give your legacy a continuation. Many times it has to do with just, having children and grandchildren and teaching them about their grandparents or their parents, and saying, listen, do a mitzvah, do a good deed in the memory of this loved one. And that way they live on. We can't change the situation, because that's the reality. But how we deal with it and the path that we take it in is ultimately our decision and our destiny. This answer that I give you and this understanding I give you is not perfect. But it's my personal experience, my personal understanding of the situation. I'm flesh and blood, and I will always go up and down according to the situation. But I try to remember this idea. I try to remember that we have to push forward. We have to make the best of things, because if we don't make the best of things, then it truly is a bad thing. Because wherever there is bad, goodness can be found if you allow it to be so. If you allow goodness to be achieved within the badness, then yes, there's badness, but it can be revolved into something good. It can be shaped into something good. And vice versa as well. Something bad, you can turn into something, something good, you can turn into bad if you don't go in the right direction. God bless you all. And remember, we are all one family under one God, and God loves us all. And He's only doing what needs to be done, and we don't understand that, but we must work together as one family. And maybe that is the greatest idea of it all, is to work as one family and to stay united. And through the badness and the sorrow, we achieve this greatest goal of unity and love for one another. Amen and Mashiach now.